Hello everybody and welcome to Novgorod region of Russia, in particular to the town of Chudovo. Chudovo in Novgorod region of Russia. My name is Sergey Baklikov. This is All of Russia channel on Baklikov Live. Let's get it started. Давайте начнем. Давай. I am beginning this, as always, awesome video from the bank of Kerest River, the river that goes all along Chudovo, and that's the bank that you can see from the territory of the house museum of the Russian poet and writer and critic and publicist Nikolai Nekrasov. Nikolai Nekrasov. He actually lived in St. Petersburg, in the house which is located on the corner of Liteyny Prospect and the street which is now named after him, Nekrasov Street. That street is one of the most bar streets along with the Rubinstein Street now. This is actually the building of the village school, which was built already after his death by his sister, the sister of Nikolai Nekrasov. The school here was only one class for the children of Chudovo, back then, yes, Chudovo village. But this is the house, the manor of Nikolai Nekrasov himself. It's what is called the hunter's house. Yeah, he was a hunter, so he was coming to the Chudovo village for some nice hunting. Now you can see the interior of this house, and you can see that even back then, in 1871, when he purchased this house from the landowners, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty great even now. Well, the nobility always lived pretty well. And when I'm getting out of the territory of the Nekrasov summer mansion, I'm getting to the street which is named after him, Nekrasov Street. And this is the Chudovo Hospital. In fact, the most known masterpiece of Nikolai Nekrasov as the writer is the poem "Кому на Руси жить хорошо?" Who is happy in Russia? Well, I hope that Nikolai Nekrasov was happy. So getting to Nekrasov Street, you see, right from his mansion, or should I call this manor, his hunter's house, here begins the Nekrasov Street, the main street of Chudovo. Now, let me tell you where, in fact, we are. We are in 120 kilometers southeast from St. Petersburg and about 70 kilometers northwest from Veliky Novgorod, the capital city of Novgorod region. In fact, Novgorod region is named after the city of Veliky Novgorod, the first real capital of Russia. That's where our great prince Rurik moved after he came to Ladega, which is now called Staraya Ladega. And Veliky Novgorod, back then was called just Novgorod was the capital of old Russia for a long time, and the capital of Novgorod Republic. This is the movie theater. It is called Svetich. Look, only 100 kilometers, in fact, southeast from St. Petersburg, and I can see how the trees are bloomed here way more than in St. Petersburg. You see how climate works. Just a little bit more to the south, and it seems like the climate is already some warmer and some better, and allowed the trees to bloom here faster. Just yesterday I filmed in Tosno. By the way, this is a great continue of my video in Tosno, another town in Leningrad region, not far from St. Petersburg, but also in the direction of southeast from St. Petersburg. Same as Tosno, Chudovo is also located on the M10 highway, the highway from Moscow to St. Petersburg, or from St. Petersburg to Moscow. And M10 highway is on the place of an old road from Moscow to St. Petersburg. Administration of the city, Lenin Square. Well, here is like no surprises. Like in hundreds of other Russian towns, the main square with the monument to Lenin before the building of the administration. See this? So Chudovo, historically located on the old roads from Moscow, St. Petersburg, and same as Tosno, back in the days it was also Yam Postal Station, which is later started to grow, at first as the Postal Settlements, and even until like 1851 Chudovo was called Yam-Chudovo. And Yam, I already told you that Yam, that is what used to be the postal station. The thing is, for the delivery of the mail and parcels, the coachman had to have such a postal stations, settlements, where they were able to stop, to take a break, to change the horses. After all, this is the children's sports school in this building, and here is a nice pond. It is called Salt Pond. There is the playgrounds, the hockey box, benches, let me check my map. I just want to see. All right, yeah, I was right. This is Solený Prud, salt pond or salted pond. Nice. Город Чудово. Во. Oh, it's like awesome. You see? Во. Прекрасно. Прекрасно. So, same as Tosna, Chudovo also at first was just a postal station, then postal settlements. Then when in 1851 through Chudovo went the Nikolaevsk railway, the railway from Moscow to St. Petersburg, which is still active, and through which the Sapsan high-speed train goes. Yeah, it started to be developed as the village. Workout. This is a workout zone. Workout. So village, and maybe also like a dacha community. However, the first railway platform was going in 1 kilometer from here, and it was called Kerest, named after the river Kerest, the river that we saw in the beginning of this video. And just later, like in 1871, they have made the line from Chudovo to Novgorod. Let me remind you, the distance between Chudovo and Novgorod is about 70 kilometers here. This is also the Children's School of Arts, not only the sports school. It seems like this is the School of Arts, Children's School of Arts, and there's Children's Sports School. Okay, and I'm returning to Nekrasov Street. For now, what I see is another pretty nice and tidy little town. It's actually more than twice smaller than Tosna. In Tosna, there are 32,000 residents, and here 14,000. 14,000. The building of the Sberbank, the main office of Sberbank in Chudovo. Sberbank, the oldest and the largest bank in Russia. There's also a coffee shop and the toy shop and the real estate agency. And I'm walking in the direction of the railway terminal. And I heard the horns, so maybe now we've missed the moment when high-speed Sapsan train on a flashing speed of 270 kilometers an hour went non-stop through Chudovo. Yeah, Chudovo, that's where Sapsan train never stops. The building of the police. Доверие народа, сила полиции. The trust of the people is the force of the police. That's what it's written there. Today it's a nice, really nice spring day, the end of April, but somehow it's only plus 6 degrees Celsius, so I'm in a hat, and I see that most people in the hat as well. Another nice little square, just a square with a benches. And that's the building of the post office of Chudovo, and you see there goes the renovation now. Yeah, nice. Like everywhere in Russia, in Chudovo I see a big boom of renovations. Yeah, really, look. All the buildings looks fresh. fresh enough. By the way, it's interesting that in Chudovo, 7.5% of population are the gypsies. The gypsies who back in 1986, after the catastrophe on the nuclear power plant, they were resettled from Belarus, from somewhere nearby the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. They were resettled here, and since then they are still living here. They are living in one of the outskirts of the city. And here I was talking with one like older lady, and she said that they are still living in their own community. So as they came here back in 1986, as still already for like almost 40 years, they are living just with their community. And they have even like their own school there. So they are not somehow assimilated with the Russians, who are the majority of the population here. Magnet and Magnet Cosmetics, a large supermarket of Magnet. Magnet, the largest chain of the neighborhood stores. A former owner and the founder of Magnet, Sergei Galitsky, he is just kind of retired, just living in his Krasnodar. He owned the football club Krasnodar and enjoying the life. And football club Krasnodar, which is playing in that new Krasnodar stadium, where there's the best Russian park called Krasnodar, also known as Galitsky Park, but official name is Park Krasnodar. Alrighty, here is already the railway. Maybe now we will be lucky to see the sub-sun. Who knows? It's a weekend, and there's a lot of sub-suns. So, in the years of World War II, Chudovo being in the southeast of St. Petersburg, Leningrad, which was under the siege. I mean, Leningrad was under the siege. So, of course, Chudovo was also in the occupation. And it's interesting that somehow liberated even 2 days later than was liberated Leningrad. Leningrad was liberated on the 27th of January 1944, and Novgorod was liberated on the 29th. And this is the alley of the memorial. This is the memorial. It's dedicated to all the people who died on these lands, on Novgorod land, Chudovo lands. Okay. Seems like I'm gonna catch the sub-sun. Yeah, look, this is sub-sun. We caught sub-sun, but somehow it goes like really slow here. Maybe just due to the security reasons. Oh gosh, look, it is stopped here? I never knew Sapsan stops in Chudovo. But let's return to the memorial. You see the numbers. It's a big numbers of people killed on the Chudovo lands and around. Over 100,000 of people in total. Died during World War II just on the Chudovo land. Eternal glory to the fallen heroes. Eternal flame. So such a really nice memorial in Chudovo to all those fallen fighting for motherland in the years of World War II. Already the 80th anniversary of the Victory Day is coming. We now saw how Sapsan stops in Chudovo, but I think far not every Sapsan stops in Chudovo. Welcome to the fair. Okay. Chudovo fair. And architect Boris Lorberg, 1877, Chudovo railway terminal. And right in front of the railway terminal, here is a typical 5-storied Khrushchev residential building with a street art where depicted Nikolai Nekrasov as the hunter. And look at this upper pass above the railway. Yeah, it looks like the construction which you will need crossing for quite some time. And I know that many people just going to the railways, but that's from one side dangerous. From another side, you can get a fine. So you better use this upper tunnel. Look, upper pass. All right, and on the other side, when you get out, first you see is an amazing 1906 Church of the Kazan icon of the Mother of God. We're on the other side. Look, that was a long way. (1906). Hope you all enjoyed this nice little video from nice little Chudovo. My name is Sergey Baklikov. This is Baklikov Live from Novgorod region of Russia. See you.